everyone, welcome to CresTV, your regular roundup of all things UC, Crestron and what's going on in the industry. And today we are talking absolutely about the industry, a very timely CresTV, because unless you've been sleeping in a darkened room, it's that time of year again. That time of year is we're all off to Barcelona for ISE 2023. Let's bring out our guest, the main man and organizer of ISE, Mr. Mike Blackman. Mike, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here, Neil. Looking forward to it.
So for anyone who has been sleeping in that darkened room, ISE, what's it all about? What's the kind of idea of the show? What's it all about?
You know, we started ISE back in 2004. We launched the company in 2003, and it was really to bring the industry together, to bring the manufacturers and distributors and the customers. The first shows actually were mostly just integrators, but more and more people like Crestron said, actually, we want to see end users as well, end customers. So now we've got the whole spectrum. It's still very much a channel event, but we're getting more and more corporate customers coming to actually meet with manufacturers and see what's there. So the show has grown. It is now the largest audiovisual show in the world.
Wow.
This year, we will have just over 1,000 exhibitors, and it's grown. We outgrew Amsterdam, so we had to leave. Timing wasn't great because of the pandemic.
We'll come to that, yeah.
But we moved to a much larger, more modern facility in Barcelona.
Much warmer as well than Amsterdam in February.
Amsterdam was great for us, and it really contributed to our growth and our success. It's a place where people wanted to be, but we did have a few cold spells there, and I've just come back from Barcelona. Last week I played golf and started off on a very cold morning, but by lunchtime I was walking around in short sleeves. So, and it can only get warmer. So, that's the sort of situation we have. And at least we won't see ice. It may not be 30 degrees, but we won't see any ice or snow.
I know. I remember it's like I did many years in ISE in Amsterdam, and you used to have to pack suitcases of like big thick coats, big thick winter gear. You're packing much lighter for Barcelona, so I'm all in on that. We were talking before I pressed record about the fact that obviously the last year in Amsterdam was an interesting year. 2019, I think it was, or
2020 was our last event in Amsterdam.
And it was a weird one, wasn't it? Yeah. So there was these kind of bowls of anti-bac at the entrance. No one knew what to do with them and what we were supposed to use them for. And we were talking, there was this kind of elbow pumping or fist pumping was the thing. So really weird times.
It was actually, and it was funny because we got hit by two things. One was the beginning of the pandemic, but the most disastrous thing that happened to us was the storm that went across Europe that shut down Heathrow Airport for 2 days. It shut down Amsterdam Airport for 3 days. It shut down Munich. I mean, it just went through from Northern Europe right down to Southern Europe and closed all the airports one after another. So we had people stuck in the places they didn't want to be for a number of days. And this probably had a more dramatic effect on our attendance then. It was just the start of the pandemic. We weren't on lockdown. Flights were being cancelled, but from some places, but more flights were cancelled because of the storm.
Yeah, crazy times. And then we didn't have one 2021. What did you do 2021? Or did you just kind of shut down? I mean, how did the kind of organisation manage through the pandemic? As the rest of us did, we all had to go and work from home. But how do you do a trade show from home? That sounds bizarre.
Well, we all left Amsterdam in February 2020 thinking this thing's going to last a couple of months and it's going to be over. Well, we were wrong. So we started preparing for a show in 2021. What happened was a couple of months later, we ended up all going home and working from home. We still started preparation for a show, which in the end we had to postpone. In fact, cancel, but we changed the whole format because what actually happened was we spoke to a lot of manufacturers who said to us, we really want to have something But we saw the issues about travel, so we said, okay, why don't we make some regional events? Which the original plan was Barcelona, Munich, Amsterdam, and London. With the restrictions still being in place in Munich and Amsterdam as they were, we couldn't do those two cities, but we had two small events, one in Barcelona and one in London. They were small, but it brought a couple of thousand of the industry people together, and those who were there were very pleased to be there. I myself, because of travel restrictions, couldn't go to London. I was able to go to Amsterdam, to Barcelona, sorry. And witness that event and join the London event online, which is what we did. It's a hybrid event with people in place and people online as well. So it was never presented as a full ISE. It was presented as a regional event to bring the industry together. It was done as a hybrid event, having a few thousand people online as well. And it was good to keep. It's like treading water, keep us in place. We then started preparing for 2022 in the hope that we could do a proper show again. And unfortunately, the situation was still such that we couldn't do the 2022 show in our normal time, and we postponed it to May. So May 22 was our real first, our first event in Barcelona, and we had. Wasn't as big as a normal ISE, but it was still the largest show. It was very successful. We had over 40,000 attendees. Wow. Everyone was pleased.
I guess that's the warm up for 2023. So we're going big, are we? This year?
We are going big. We are going big. So you're going to see a show which is at least 20%, 25% larger than we had in 2022. Over 1,000 exhibitors, and registrations are running extremely well at the moment. So we're anticipating a good attendance.
Fantastic. And again, if you are looking to register, if you haven't done already, if you use the code DMFEOZFK, rolls off the tongue that. We could have come up with something a little bit more snappy, like, CresTV. But if you use that code, it's in the banner below, then you can get registered for free for ISE. So if you haven't already done so, why not? Make sure you do sign up and register for that. Now, we were talking earlier on about, what's changed, what's new. You were talking about Hall 6 is going to be a big focus on content. Again, excite us, wow us, what's going to be new in 2023? What have we got this year that people should come and see at 2020?
So again, you're going to see fuller halls. We've had one change, which is we've flipped where residential and smart building from the top of Hall 2 to the bottom of Hall 2, and collaboration is going to be at the top of Hall 2. So, looking for stuff like this, Zoom, Poly, etc., they're all going to be in Hall 2. Hall 3 is where all the big names are, including CresTV.
CresTV. And bigger than last year. I think we've gone. There was last year there was a stand or booth in between us and the door. We've gone. Correct. We've kind of man spread out to the side. We're now full wall to wall. I think in our booth. Someone did tell me. Hang on. 3H100. Get my numbers right. 3H100.
You don't even need a number. It's the front. It's right on the corridor of Hall 3 as you walk through. So you're not going to miss it. Then, so Hall 3 is a generic hall. It's companies like yourselves, like CresTV, who do everything. You'll find that most of the big display manufacturers in there as well. Then Hall 4, Hall 5. Hall 4 is, I'll talk about Hall 4 in a moment. Hall 5 is another generic hall where you see more of some of the big names there as well. Hall 6 is where we're doing digital signage and content creation and distribution. Now, we've always had manufacturers and companies presenting solutions like this, but we've never had it focused in one place. And last year, we saw a lot of companies presenting virtual studios, presenting new ways for content creation. And what we see now is that content creation is not just broadcast. We're starting from, people creating TikTok and YouTube right up to film. When we look at some of the films like The Mandalorian, this new film, new Netflix series 9, which I've forgotten, which has all been created using a lot of AV solutions and studios. And it's changing the way people are looking at content creation. So we've got a big focus on that. And you'll see in that whole, firstly, you'll see a lot of digital signage, but the other parts you'll see is the content creation side. And the companies in there, a couple of big features in there will be the live TV studio using the Unreal Engine. So another highlight, BK Johansson, who is the head of the Unreal Engine division of Epic Games. And for those who know what this is, the Unreal Engine has become really revolutionary, not only in game development, but also for broadcast, for filmmaking, etc., etc. So we have a keynote with BK Johansson talking about how the Unreal Engine is revolutionizing content creation. Then we have a studio for Media Pro that's using the Unreal Engine to do interviews and present content throughout the day at ISE. And that's sponsored and presented by Media Pro. And then the other side of the corridor there, we have TV3 Catalonia, which is the public television station there. We're also doing the same, but they're doing something quite phenomenal. They're actually showing the whole workflow process of creating content for broadcast. And they're also they're doing this they're showing a 360 content creation workflow, and they're actually going to be doing live performances of these human towers that you see. It's very popular in Catalonia as a competition, where people are standing on everybody's shoulders up to about 6 people high, and they're showing how they can create content using this as well. So again, a couple of really highlights.
The health and safety risk assessment for that must have been quite challenging, I'm sure.
They know what they're doing. Yeah. They know what they're doing.
High-vis
generally,
jackets.
The person at the very top is a little child.
Right, okay.
There are probably about 10 like men waiting in the bottom to catch them.
There's a couple of rugby players down the bottom.
Exactly. The guys at the bottom have broad shoulders and thick legs.
Yeah, I bet. I guess certainly something visually that people are definitely going to want to go and see. That's all in Hall 6, is it, this year?
That's in Hall 6. In Hall 5, we have live events and pro audio.
Right.
And for the first time, we have on-site in Hall 8, large pro audio demo rooms. We have had demand for a long time from a lot of the pro audio manufacturers saying, we want space where we can really demonstrate our equipment. We can't do it in the halls because we disturb everybody. Yeah. So we created spaces in Hall 8 where this can be done. So again, live demonstrations running throughout the day in Hall 8. There are about half a dozen demo rooms where very large, a couple of hundred 200 to 400 square meter large rooms showing live pro audio demos. We have, I mentioned Hall 4 earlier. We're co-located with the IoT Summit. And again, a lot of relevance because what we're seeing is that Internet of Things being really very relevant for our business. So you'll see a few companies in there who are already exhibiting at ISE, but more on the IT side. And everybody who attends ISE has a free pass to attend the IoT Summit as well.
Very cool, very cool. It certainly sounds like a bumper year. For those, as I say, who are sort of teetering on the edge of their seat, what would be your sort of top 3 reasons to come to ISE? What's the elevator pitch if someone's thinking, not sure, it's a bit late now, not sure if there's hotels and flights. What give us your top 3, Mike, on why to come to ISE?
Certainly the first is going to be the over 1,000 exhibitors who represent this fantastic industry that we're all involved in. If you want to keep up to date, if you want to be part of this industry and see what's actually happening, you need to be at ISE. The second is we've got 2 wonderful keynotes. First is BK Johansson, I've mentioned already. The second is a guy called Fran Chow. One of the things we always look at many companies, we will recognize that innovation is really, really important for our industries to grow. But what we don't see is how innovative our companies or our people are. Right. So we did a survey that started just before Christmas of the whole industry to understand what the people in the companies think about how innovative they are and their companies are, and how companies in our industry are open to innovation and nurture innovation. So Fran is going to be doing a presentation talking about the results of that survey and how innovation is, how relevant it is to our industry and industry growth and progressing. So that's my second there. Two keynotes I really recommend being at. We have the rest of our conference program is phenomenal. Go to the website, www.iseurope.org, and there you can see the full conference program, see what is there that's relevant for you. And Barcelona is a great city.
It is. I'll just throw to there. CresTV is there. I'm there, so there's your fourth one. Come and see me. Come and see CresTV. Are we digital badging again this year? I found that very.
We are. We're back. We're back to paper badges.
Yes.
You need the digital badge to get in.
Right. So download the app. If you're coming, go download the app before
you have to get the app.
Yeah.
It's relevant. That's a security issue to stop copying of the passes, etc., and make sure. There are requirements here, and it's one of the things which all the shows are starting to move towards within the city as well. But once you're inside, you have a paper badge. So you don't need it. Once you're inside, you don't need your digital badge anymore.
It was the classic thing. Everyone would come up to me and go, "Hey, Neil, how you doing?" And I'm like, "I know the face, but I don't remember." And you do the classic look down. Ah, Dave, Bob. You can't do that with digital.
At the end of the day, we're a service company. We heard what our customers said last year. We listened, we heard, and we've reacted. So the paper badges are back.
Excellent, cool. I was very pleased. As I say, it was just so fun. And the amount of people, maybe I'm just getting old and can't remember people's names, but lots of people came up to me, and I just had to do that kind of embarrassing thing of like, I can't remember your name. Yeah. So love that. But digital badge is cool. yeah, I'm sure I'm not the only one that happened to. And again, there was a cool, like you could do it on LinkedIn where you could have a QR code, you could do digital business cards and stuff like that. So definitely a cool thing, but definitely at a trade show, having some kind of paper badge you can just sort of glance down and not embarrass yourself of forgetting who they are. Very cool. Still hotels available? Still
hotels available? Go to our website. We advise people to be very, very careful. There are a lot of scam emails going around from people offering accommodation. Our advice is go to our website, use the official agency, because their prices are actually even cheaper than Booking.com.
Oh, fantastic!
You can use whichever agency, whichever solution you want. All we're advising is the scam emails you receive, please ignore them. Unless it's coming from an IS Europe address, iseurope.org on that address, or B Network is our official agency for accommodation. If you know the hotels directly, you can book directly. Booking.com is also, legit. So we say to use the legit partners. Be careful. We've known of a lot of situations where people have booked through some of these scams, turned up and found there's no room for them, and they've already paid their money. And unfortunately, we're not the only trade show that suffers from this. It's happening quite a lot, and we hate it. We take legal action against anybody we find who's actually trying to scam.
Right. Okay. Cool. So yeah, great to know that there's still places to go. And again, obviously register, use the code DMFEOZFK and use the free registration with CresTV. Very excited about 2023. It was a great year in Barcelona last year. It can only get bigger. Are you going virtual at the entrance again? Have you been virtualized again? I remember that from last year.
I've been virtualized, but not at the entrance.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to find Mike. It's going to be like, where's Mike? And find the virtual Mike in the show somewhere. That was great. Mike, thank you ever so much for joining us on CresTV. I will hopefully see you somewhere in the show in a couple of weeks' time. And if you're coming to ISE 2023, then do come and find myself, come and find Mike, and have a great show. Thank you all for joining us here on CresTV, your regular roundup of everything you see and collaboration from CresTV and the industry. Make sure you hit the subscribe, ring the bell, do all that usual YouTube and social stuff, share it to your friends. And as I say, if you are going to be in Barcelona, do come and find me. I'll probably be hanging out 3H100 or just generally making a nuisance of myself around the show. So I'll see you there. Safe travels, and I'll see you in Barcelona.